Welcome to the Conscious Kinky Podcast, where we explore sexuality, connection, and power through awareness and intentional choice.
At the Kink Collective, we help people reframe their relationship with sexuality, build deeper connections, and become safe spaces in the world.
Each episode invites reflection, not performance.
And the conversation continues inside Conscious Conversations, our live community space. Welcome to the conversation.
Who leads when you're activated?
Not when you're calm, not when you're journaling, not when you are explaining the pattern after the fact.
But in the moment, when you feel misunderstood, when you feel rejected, when someone tells you no, when someone gives you feedback, when something in you wants to defend, control, disappear, collapse, or perform.
Who leads you then?
Because self-leadership isn't proven when everything feels easy.
Self-leadership begins when the old pattern is available and you choose to stay, and you stay present enough to choose.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Conscious Kinky Podcast. I'm Kat.
And I'm Joshua.
This podcast exists to help people understand themselves more clearly, relate more honestly, and stop repeating patterns that they don't fully understand yet.
Today we're beginning month 11. The theme is self-leadership and embodiment.
And this is an important point in the season because we are moving toward the end of this full season arc. We will be ending the season at the end of month 12.
So for these two final months in this track, a month 11 and month 12, they're not just new topics, they're integration months.
They're about asking, can I live the work? Can I embody it? Can I practice it while life is actually happening?
Because by now we have covered a lot. We've talked about the mirror, projection, triggers, ownership, safety, impact, repair. We've spoken about choice and discipline and integrity.
And now, month 11 asks, can I lead myself in real time?
Not just understand myself, not just explain myself, not just know the pattern.
No, but can I lead myself when I'm activated or emotional, which leads me to want to react? Can I lead when the old version of me wants to take over?
That's the episode of this work. Self-leadership and embodiment. The work becomes real when I can lead myself in the moment.
That line is the heart of this month because a lot of people can understand the work in reflection. They can understand it after the conversation or once they calm down. They can understand it when they're explaining what happened.
But embodiment asks something different. Can I access the work while I'm inside the moment?
Can I pause when I'm activated? Can I name what's happening before I react? Can I stay connected to myself when I feel pressure? And can I feel the old pattern but not immediately become it?
Month 11 is about self-leadership, emotional authority, relational presence, and embodiment.
So week 1 is self-leadership. Can I lead myself under pressure?
Week 2 is emotional authority, feeling without being ruled by the feeling.
Week 3 will be a relational presence, the tone I set in connection.
And week 4 is embodiment, when the work lives in my body and in my behavior.
So today we begin with self-leadership. Because before I can lead a conversation or a relationship or even lead a room or a community, I have to ask, can I lead myself?
It's especially important when you can ask, can I lead myself when pressure shows up? I can think of moments where I thought I was leading the moment, but really something else was leading me.
That's such an important distinction because from the outside, we may look composed, we may look clear, we might even sound confident.
But internally, something else completely is happening. The protector may be driving. The part that wants to defend may be driving. The part that wants to be right, sometimes he grabs the wheel. The one that wants to control the outcome. The part that wants to make sure I'm not misunderstood.
And that part may have a reason, right? It might have history. It might have learned to protect you.
Yeah. So this episode is not about demonizing those parts. It's not about saying that the defender or the controller or the pleaser or the avoider are bad. I'm not trying to say that.
Because those parts often developed for a reason. They helped us survive something. They helped us feel like we belonged. They kept us from getting hurt, or at least felt like they kept us from getting hurt. They helped to manage shame and to stay safe in environments where maybe we didn't have better tools.
Self-leadership is going to ask a different question. It's going to ask, does that part still need to lead?
That's the question, right? Not, can I get rid of the part?
But can I stop letting the most activated part of me make the decision?
For me, self-leadership has often been about noticing when the part that wants to keep peace wants to take over. The part that wants to smooth things out, make sure nobody's upset, that thinks tension means danger.
And then the practice from that becomes, can I hear that part without letting it silence my truth?
Yeah. Can I say to that part, I know you want to keep the peace, but we're not going to abandon honesty to do it.
And that's self-leadership. It's not inner warfare, it's inner leadership.
It makes for a very different relationship with ourselves.
Yeah, so let's talk about what self-leadership means. So self-leadership is the ability to stay connected to yourself under pressure.
It doesn't mean that you're never emotional, or that you never get triggered, or that you never feel fear or shame or anger or grief or urgency or discomfort.
It means those feelings are not automatically in charge.
Self-leadership means I can notice what's happening inside me. I can name the part of me that wants to take over. I can pause, I can choose, I can act from alignment instead of impulse.
Self-leadership isn't self-control in the harsh sense. It's not forcing you to be calm. It's not about shutting yourself down. It's not about suppressing the reaction so you look mature.
Self-leadership is internal steadiness. It says, I'm activated, but I can still choose. I'm scared, and I can still tell the truth. I feel defensive, but I can still listen. I want to disappear, and I can still name that I need a pause.
That's the word. Not being untouched, but being able to lead yourself while touched by the moment. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, so one of the biggest questions this week is, who leads me when I'm activated?
Because different parts of, I know for myself, have taken over under pressure.
The protector may lead, right? The protector says, don't let them hurt you. Get ahead of this. Stay guarded.
The defender may lead, and the defender says, explain yourself. You have to explain yourself. Prove your intention. Make sure that they know you weren't wrong.
And then sometimes the pleaser may lead. I always feel called out. Say yes. Keep them comfortable. Don't disappoint them. Don't risk the connection.
Don't risk the connection. I'm guilty of that. Also, the controller may lead. And the controller wants to manage the outcome. Wants to get certainty out of the situations, make things predictable. Not let anything unfold without having my grip on it.
Or the opposite of that, the avoider may lead. The avoider says, leave. Don't answer. Wait till it goes away. Don't feel this.
I'm guilty of a lot of these. The performer may lead. And the performer says, look okay. Sound evolved. Use your big words. Say the right things. Make sure they can see you as conscious.
Then there's the wounded child. And the wounded child would say things like, I'm not safe. I'm being abandoned. I'm in trouble. I have to protect myself right now.
And then there's the grounded adult. The adult self. The one who can say, I hear all of you, and I'll lead.
That is self-leadership. Not rejecting the parts, not shaming them, but not letting them take the wheel without awareness.
Yeah, I'm really glad that this is a core piece of a lot of the work that we do is self-leadership. One of the deepest truths here is that many of the parts that take over once helped us survive.
So if you're listening and realizing, I let the pleaser lead, or I let the defender lead, or the controller maybe, that doesn't mean you're broken.
It means you adapted. I've adapted. It means I learned something. It means I found my way through. And the same goes for you.
Right? Maybe pleasing helped you to avoid conflict.
Maybe it helped you control safety in what was chaos.
Maybe the defender helped to protect yourself from shame.
Maybe avoidance helped you survive overwhelm.
Maybe performance helped you earn belonging.
Those strategies may have been intelligent at one point, and they may have been the best option at the moment.
But self-leadership asks, is this still the best leader for my life now?
And that's the shift right there. That's where it changes. Not how do I hate this part?
But how do I update this part?
What does this part still not know about who I am now?
Maybe the pleaser doesn't know that you can survive someone being disappointed in you.
And the defender may not know that you can still be accountable and still be worthy.
Maybe the controller doesn't know uncertainty does not always equal danger.
My avoided needed to hear that I can pause and return without disappearing instead of disappearing as well.
Yeah. Or the wounded child doesn't know that there's an adult to make you safe here now.
And that's why self-leadership is compassionate. It updates the inner system. It doesn't just overpower it.
Pressure reveals who's leading.
That's why this episode is important. Because most of us don't learn self-leadership in theory. We learn it when pressure shows up.
When someone says, I need to talk to you, I need to talk to you.
When someone says, oh, that didn't feel good.
When someone takes longer than you think they should to respond.
When someone sets a boundary, that one shakes my ground sometimes.
Yeah. Or when plans change.
When you feel excluded.
Or you feel misunderstood.
When you feel embarrassed.
When you don't get your way.
Those are the moments that reveal who leads.
And again, this isn't about shame. It's about information.
If pressure reveals that the defender leads, now you know where the work is.
If pressure ends up revealing that the pleaser leads, now you know where the work is.
If pressure reveals that the avoider leads, now you know where the work is.
So the revelation itself is not failure, it's a map.
And once you have a map, you can practice and you can move very, very differently. The map changed my life. Now, I want to say this so it's not misunderstood. Self-leadership is not the same as controlling yourself.
Right. Because some people hear self-leadership and think, I need to shut down my emotions. I need to be calm all the time. Or I need to be perfectly regulated and never react.
And that's not what we mean by a long stretch. That can become another form of control, another performance, and another way to judge and be harsh on yourself.
Self-leadership is not, I don't feel anything.
What it is, it says, I can feel this and still stay connected to choice.
It doesn't mean I never get activated.
It can say, I can notice activation before it runs the whole room.
It doesn't mean silencing the scared part.
I listen to the scared part without letting fear make the decision alone.
And that part, that difference is what matters, because self-leadership includes compassion. It includes listening to what's inside of you and pacing and care.
Control says, stop feeling that.
Leadership says, I hear what you're feeling. Let's slow down and choose. A big part of self-leadership is learning your body's earlier signals.
Because the body often tells the truth well before the behavior happens.
Before you defend and your chest may tighten.
Before you shut down, your mind may go blank.
Before you go to pleasing, your body may lean forward and lose its own center.
Before you control, your breath may get shallow and fast.
Before you perform, your voice may change.
Before you disappear, your energy may leave the room, even if your body's still there.
These signals matter because once you know them, they become the doorways to choice.
You can say, my chest is tightening. I may be getting defensive.
Or my breath is changing, so I might be feeling pressure.
My mind is going blank. I may need to pause.
My body wants to say yes quickly, which means I may need time.
And using that voice, that's self-leadership. The body speaks, the adult self listens, and then the choice becomes possible. Let's talk about the sentence that interrupts the pattern, because sometimes self-leadership starts with one sentence.
A sentence that interrupts the pattern before the pattern gets a chance to take over.
Something like, I'm activated, but I don't have to let this part lead.
Or I need a moment so that I can respond instead of react.
There's a lot of work that I need to be embodying, because I can also be saying, I can feel myself wanting to defend, and I want to listen first.
Or acknowledging that you're afraid, but that you don't want to let fear lead the decision that you make.
And others, I want to disappear, and I'm going to ask for a pause instead.
These sentences are not magic, but they create space.
They give the adult self a way to enter the moment.
They help you stop being dragged by your very first impulse.
This has been so difficult for me. And sometimes that's enough to change the direction of the conversation, and that's true. This is a tool that I've had to learn over the years.
Yeah, me too. I can say me too to all of this. Self-leadership is deeply relational because when we don't lead ourselves, other people often have to manage us.
They may have to manage our defensiveness, our silence or intensity, our giving up, the need for reassurance, our urgency, our control.
And they may have to soften their truth or delay their feedback or end up caretaking our emotions or over-explaining their boundaries, or they end up avoiding topics altogether.
That's why self-leadership creates relational safety. Where I can lead myself, people don't have to work as hard to stay honest with me.
That's a powerful point. Self-leadership makes truth more possible.
Because people can feel, I don't have to manage his reaction.
I don't have to manage her shutdown.
I don't have to manage their shame. I don't have to carry the part of them that takes over.
They can experience more room, more honesty, more truth, more trust.
That's why this month is about embodiment. The work becomes real when people can feel the difference in how we show up. This is a conversation I was just having the other day about embodiment.
We've been having these conversations.
Another thing of the work that we do. We're not here to teach you what to think. We want you guys to be in your body and to start feeling what your intuition, what your body's saying to you, what your spirit is saying to you.
Right, and because this is actually the work that we do on the daily, right? We're not here preaching because this is something we did 10 years ago. This is the stuff that we're doing right now as we speak.
And because we're approaching the end of the season, at the end of season 12, not Conscious Conversations, just a season. We're going to take a different trajectory for the next few months after, because this personal development stuff is extremely important when it comes to this stuff. So that's why we're approaching this topic at this point. So with that, we're going to take a pause so I can fix this and continue with these guys.
Well, hello. So this is where...
So that's why this topic matters.
Right? Because these final months are asking, has the work moved from idea into practice?
Can I take what we've covered and can I live it?
Can I notice projection when it's happening? Can I recognize a trigger before it becomes a reaction? Can I own my part without shame? Can I care about impact without defending intention? How about repair with changed behavior, which means I've chosen differently and I'm living with more integrity?
And now, can I lead myself while all of that is happening in real time?
And that's why self-leadership is not just another topic. It's an integration point.
It gathers the work that we've already done and asks if we can practice it in the body in real time. So now we're going to apply it to the framework. And again, not by repeating definitions, but by using them. And we're going to start with I, introspection. What introspection asks is, what part of me takes over under pressure? Who leads when I feel activated? It's my 5-year-old boy. What parts of it wants to protect me? What parts of it is performative? How about what part wants to disappear? What part wants control?
It also asks, what does that part of me, what does it need to be understood? What is it afraid is going to happen? And what is it trying to prevent from happening? What does it still not know about who I am now?
Introspection is where self-leadership begins, because I cannot lead what I refuse to notice.
C is for container. Container asks, what helps me slow down before that part of me leads?
A container might be a pause, a breath, a script. It may be a boundary. A container may be time to respond, a hand on the chest, a repair agreement, a check-in practice.
Container gives the adult self a place to stand. Because without a container, the activated part may move faster than your values.
And a container might sound like, I need a moment. I want to respond carefully, responsibly. I can feel myself getting activated. I need to pause and come back. I don't want the old pattern to lead this.
I've needed permission to be able to say these things to myself, I swear to God. And this is what self-leadership looks like in practice.
A is for authenticity. Authenticity asks, can I name what's happening inside me honestly?
Not perform calm, not pretend I'm fine, or make someone guess.
But to say, I'm feeling defensive. I'm feeling under pressure. I'm scared. I'm tempted to shut down. I feel like I want to say yes too fast. I need time to know what's true for me.
Authenticity lets self-leadership become visible. It tells the truth without letting the truth become a weapon. V is for vulnerability, right? Vulnerability asks, can I admit I'm activated without letting activation run the whole room?
And that's vulnerable because it means I stop hiding behind the performance of being okay.
It also means I stop using activation as permission to do harm.
I can say I'm activated, and I don't have to attack.
I can actually say out loud that I'm scared, but still not control everything and everyone.
I can feel rejected and still not punish.
I can feel overwhelmed. I can admit that I'm overwhelmed and not make me disappear without saying anything.
And that is self-leadership with vulnerability. Next is safety. And what safety asks is, does my self-leadership create more safety for me and others?
When I lead myself, I create more internal safety. I know I can stay with myself. I know I can pause, and I know I can return.
And I create more relational safety. Other people don't have to manage my most activated part. They don't have to brace for as much. They don't have to edit.
Safety grows when self-leadership becomes embodied.
This has been like a very big part of just my process in becoming a better partner.
Yeah. All right, let's look at self-leadership through MISS, because self-leadership affects how we move with connection, right? So M is for meet. At the meet stage, self-leadership asks, can I meet my own activation before reacting outwardly?
Can I meet what's happening inside of me before I make it someone else's problem? Can I meet my fear, my shame, urgency, or defensiveness with enough awareness to choose?
Meeting yourself first can change the whole interaction, right? So I is for invest.
At the invest stage, self-leadership asks, am I willing to invest in the practices that build internal steadiness?
That means repeated practice, not one moment of awareness, not just one good conversation, but a real investment in pausing, in regulating, in honesty, repair, and return.
Self-leadership grows through repetition. It's like a muscle. You got to work it. You got to train it. Next is share information.
At the shared information stage, self-leadership asks, can I communicate what's happening inside of me responsibly?
And that might sound like, I'm activated and I need a moment. I'm noticing I want to defend. I need time to answer honestly. I'm overwhelmed and I want to come back to this.
That's different from dumping emotion onto someone. It's information with responsibility. So the second S is for shared experience.
At shared experience, self-leadership asks, can others experience me as more grounded under pressure?
Do they experience me pausing and returning and naming what's happening? Can they tell that I'm taking responsibility and that I'm choosing differently?
Yeah, and that's where self-leadership becomes relational. Because it's not just something you feel. You can't self-identify yourself into this. It's something people have to experience with you. So now we're going to bring it back to you. Because every one of us has a part that wants to lead under pressure. Every one of us has a survival strategy that still tries to take the wheel.
So these questions are not here to shame those parts. They're here to help you recognize them and practice leading them from somewhere to a more grounded place.
So take your time, bring them into your journal, bring them into our Tuesdays and soon to be Saturday conversations. They might already be happening when this one plays, and ask, who leads me when I'm activated? So the first set of questions for Breakout 1 take about 3 minutes per question. The goal is to understand what happens inside of you under pressure. Don't judge it, don't shame it. It's just to see who or what takes over. Number 1, my child. Who leads me when I'm activated? Is it the protector, the performer? Is it the pleaser, the controller, the avoider, the defender? Is it the critic? Are they the wounded child or the grounded adults? I'll go first. Remember, pause the video, give yourself about 3 minutes to answer, and then come back in and listen to our answers. And then bring it with you into Conscious Conversations on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then on Saturdays, starting September 19th, I want to say, at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Time. So for me, it's the wounded child and it's the protector. Or the defender. But it's still, I always have to prove that I didn't do something wrong. Right? Or that, at least my intention was like, there was always like, I don't want to be the bad person. So I get defensive.
Yeah. For me, I think it depends on the situation. Sometimes it's the pleaser. Sometimes I'm afraid that I'm going to be seen a certain kind of way or that somebody's going to be upset. And I go to defend. Sometimes, and I go to defend by way of pleasing, right? By smoothing things over, by making things okay, by making sure nobody's upset. Sometimes when I feel like my intention is being misunderstood, I can get into the defending, not like defending as in defending the castle, but defending as in like verbally defending myself, like, well, this is what I meant, or, you know, especially when I've had an impact that I didn't want to have, I can go into, well, you should judge me by my intention and not by the way you feel. So I can, and I think all of those are from the wounded child place of some age, right? I mean, for me, all of those things developed either when I was very young or when I was a preteen or an early teen. So depending on which one it is, depends on how old I am when that entity takes the wheel.
Yeah. Is this a bruise one?
Yeah. I don't know.
Is this like, because it looks like something happened here.
I don't know.
All right. Number 2. What situations make self-leadership hardest for me? Being misunderstood, rejected, corrected, ignored, disappointed. Could it have been being challenged or exposed, told no? Where does self-leadership become hardest to access?
For me, it's definitely being corrected or being challenged. Especially when I'm sure that I'm right about something, or I think, you know, that I haven't done anything wrong, and then I'm either corrected or challenged. That can get me out of self-leadership and get me into a reactive state, for sure.
I think about not being seen or heard or respected. That's what
Is that what is underneath the seen and heard is the respected part?
Yeah. I think it's a form of disrespect, but that's what it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. That's for the fight. That's for the fight response, right? The flight response is ignored, rejected.
That makes you want to run away.
Yeah.
The whole kaleidoscope of responses.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy. And so I guess it depends on what I'm feeling in my body. If it's like one of those reactions, it's going to pull particular responses.
Yeah.
But the hardest ones, I think, is it's about being respected or disrespect.
Yeah.
Number 3, what does my body do before I lose access to my grounded self? What are my early signs? Are they in my breath, in my chest, jaw? Does my stomach tighten? Does my voice change ranges? Does my posture change? Does impulsivity kick up to the front? What does my body tell me before the pattern takes over?
So for me, if I was feeling hungry, it instantly goes away. My stomach is instantly turned upside over. I feel like my chest, like my heart wants to come out of my chest. I feel like a very activated, physically activated feeling in my chest area, and my mind goes blank. I'm suddenly like unable to have, like if a moment ago I was able to have like a calm, rational thought, it's as if my mind is like an Etch-a-Sketch, and like somebody went like this and blanked the whole thing right out.
For myself, it's like my breath changes, my chest tightens. I get very agitated.
Yeah. Yeah, I relate to the agitation.
Yeah, that's what I feel takes over. And then I can't think logic. Like, all I'm coming up with are responses, reactions, in my answers to whatever's in front of me. Like, it's like the hammer comes out and everything turns into a nail.
That's a really good way to put it. Yeah. I've seen that, actually.
What old strategy tries to take over when I feel pressure? Do I defend, explain, control, collapse, perform, disappear, please, shut down? What strategy wants to take the wheel? For myself, it's defend and explain. And that's when the hammer comes out. That's the hammer.
For me, it's usually about explaining that impulse that I was talking about this impulse earlier about like wanting to say something. Like I immediately take out my phone and start typing furiously like there's something I have to say. It's a type of defending or explaining because I think I feel terribly misunderstood, and that if I just explained it right, it would make everything better. Like it could smooth everything over if I just say all the right words, if I just say the right things right this minute. That's the strategy that wants to take the wheel. I just try harder.
Yeah.
All right, so before moving into the second round, pause for a moment. Take a breath. Let this first set of questions settle. In one sentence, what did you notice about yourself during that set of questions? And then what's one word that you're coming out of that set of questions with?
Let that be enough. You don't have to turn it into a full explanation. Just notice what surfaced. Next is breakout. Set 2 of the questions.
The second set is about integration. Not just seeing what takes over, but practicing grounded self-leadership. Again, take about 3 minutes per question, turn off the video, answer the questions, and then come back and hear what we had to say. All right, so the first question in this set is, what would grounded self-leadership look like in one situation I'm currently facing? What would I say? Would I pause, ask a question, make a different choice, name something, or what would I not do? What would the grounded adult in me do?
Like, the way I fantasize about it is, so there was one time, and this is the most grounded fucking adult I had ever been, I think. Lace came to chew my ass for the way I overstepped in celebrating too early for something she was doing. And I had shared it. And when she called me in on it, I was like, oh my God, I felt apologetic and I felt bad, but I didn't get defensive. And I was very attentive, very present. It was like, sit down, come talk to me, tell me what did I do? Because I don't want to be on this side of error, right? I want there to be, I don't want you to be carrying this. And so we sat and we spoke, and I was present, I was without blame, I was without defense. I needed to hear, because I wanted her to feel safe, that she can do this with me. And like, that was the best time I've showed up, I think, in my body, that I went through this process with feeling proud of myself for not collapsing, not feeling guilt and shame that would have silenced me, but the ability to be attentive and then to change to really step by step make sure that I was in accountability and that there was no misunderstandings and there was nothing out of alignment that needed to be put back into alignment by the time the conversation ended. And it's like, I want to show up like that when we have our disagreements. So when Natalie and I are having a hard time, but it's harder the closer the person is with me. Yeah. And it's like, that's where I'm putting in most of my work. It's like, it's for you guys, because I'm plugged in with you 24/7, and I get tired, I get hungry, I get sloppy, right? Just because of all of it. And it's like, I have a lot of gratitude, and I don't want for you guys to have to carry that more than humanly necessary.
Yeah, I think you're doing a great job. Not for nothing.
Thank you, Mom.
For me, what it makes me think of is the time that I went away to the retreat that I facilitated for people. And we were having a group chat about some things, and people started speaking into things that didn't go right for them. And there was the possibility, there was the tacit invitation there for me to step into feeling bad about it, or for me to get activated about it and want to defend or want to explain or want to over apologize or any of those things. And I was really able to sit there and hear them say what they needed to say and not buy into any particular reaction, and not buy into any little person invitation from inside of myself to defend or explain or apologize or anything. And someone actually even commented on it in the group. They said, wow, you're hearing them say all these things and you're just being so calm. And I felt really proud of myself that I was just able, they were just speaking their piece. It wasn't about me. And that's when I'm in my best place, in my most grounded adult self, I can really see that most things people are experiencing aren't really about me at all. And for me to take it on as if it is the little person in me, right? So to be able to just say, it's okay, like you're having your experience and I can be okay with that. That's what feels like the most grounded adult in me. All right, so next question. What support helps me return to myself when I am activated? It can be anything like breathing, taking a pause, maybe moving your body, dance parties always help me, praying, journaling, taking a time out, relying on a script that you've written, reminding yourself of a boundary, maybe a check-in with a trusted other. What helps me come back to myself?
I think about the time you stopped everything and you just sat down and you said, tell me what you need to tell me. Like undivided attention.
Oh, when we were here.
Yeah.
Was it that one
here
time?
Upstairs, but you just sat down on the floor.
It was right here. I'll remember that day, my dying day. One of the keys, we would go around and round and round. And one day I just somehow intuitively understood that what he really needed was to just be heard. I stopped mid-sentence, plopped myself on the ground, just looked at him, gave him my undivided attention, and just listened. And it was the first time the fuel ever burned itself out in real time. Yeah.
That really changed. I just needed to be heard.
Yeah. That's what happens when you knock this stuff around enough and you don't
give up.
And you don't give up. right? We're here because we haven't given up. That's honest. That's the honest to God's truth. It's not because we've done anything magical. It's because we keep going and we don't give up.
Yeah. Did you answer that?
I did.
Oh yeah, I'm done. Sorry. What sentence could help me lead myself before reacting? Something like, I'm activated, but I don't have to let this part lead. I need a pause so I can respond from alignment. I can feel the old strategy and I can choose differently. What sentence would support me? I think being able to acknowledge I feel the old pattern kicking up and I need, because what I don't want to say is I need you to listen, because then that just sounds like threat, and that's not what I want to get across, but the importance of being heard in that moment.
But that would be so much better than you falling into the reactive part of you that comes up after that. So having you say, I need you to listen would be a great way to know in advance that you're starting to feel that way. That would be helpful. Yeah, I don't think it would feel like I was being threatened or browbeat at all. I think it would feel like, oh, that thing is starting to happen and you need to be heard, you need to be listened to.
Because that's like, I don't want to do that, right? It's like, It's not, I'm not trying to threaten, I'm not trying to strong arm, I'm not trying to have power over. I need to be heard.
But that's what the little person who takes the mic, that's all the things that person's trying to do. Overpower, be heard, even if it's at someone's expense, because you feel threatened and because you feel like you're not heard or not understood. Something calm as, I need you to listen, or, as simple as that would not be a bad thing. Yeah.
How about you?
For me, it's more like a simple internal pause. Just take a minute. Like, don't react. Like, shut up. I can literally, the internal dialogue can be as simple as, okay, shut up right now. Like, be quiet. Because in that quiet, in that pause, is where the opportunity for anything else comes. Otherwise, I'm just right in reaction.
Yeah.
And I'm outside the box. Like, I'm like, when people with NPD talk about like their different personalities taking the spotlight, and the person who's a real person like gets put in the dark. That's what happens to me. My reactions start, my reactivity happens, and then like I'm somewhere in the dark, right? It's like, so that pause, that giving myself a moment, gives me the opportunity to stay present and look to make a different choice. But I have to, it's like a wedge that comes in between me and the reactivity.
Yeah.
All right, last question. Where can I practice letting my adult self lead me this week? What real conversation, boundary, decision, repair, or moment needs more grounded leadership?
I'm thinking if there's any outstanding conversations that need to be happening, where there's a chance that I could feel defensive or something like that.
Most of what I keep coming back to are the things I'm doing with myself, right? Like the conversations I'm having with myself.
Or not having with myself.
For me, it's conversations with myself that I don't need to have. I've been doing a lot of internal flagellating. I've been doing a lot of beating myself over the head for things in a way that's not helpful, right? So I need more boundaries, good decisions, repair, the grounded leadership I need is around myself, to give myself a break, to tell myself that I'm doing an okay job, things are all right the way that they are, et cetera, et cetera. So it's the relationship with me that needs help.
So as you guys are watching this, I hope the volume picked up all the answers, because the microphone was unplugged. But the microphone on the camera was picking it up. I was looking at this, I'm like, why is that hanging over there? But we're good. We got sound. We had sound the whole time.
Okay. Good to know. Hello again.
Hey, we need somebody to come and do these recordings
Yes,
with
we
us.
do.
All right. Before we close, let's review the questions for this upcoming Conscious Conversations, month 11, episode 1, self-leadership.
Can I lead myself under pressure?
Set 1, awareness and orientation. Who leads me when I'm activated?
What decisions make self-leadership the hardest for me?
Number 3, what does my body do before I lose access to my grounded self?
And what old strategy tries to take over whenever I feel pressure? So the in-between round reflection questions, what one sentence did you notice yourself about in that first set of questions? And what one word are you leaving that set with?
Set 2, integration and practice. What would grounded self-leadership look like in one situation I'm currently facing?
What support helps me return to myself when I'm activated?
What sentence could help me lead myself before reacting?
And then finally, where can I practice letting my adult self lead this week? Self-leadership is not about being untouched by emotion. It's about staying connected to yourself while emotion is present.
It's about learning how to recognize the part that wants to take over and choosing to lead from somewhere more grounded or responsible.
And that's exactly what we practice inside Conscious Conversations every Tuesday night and Saturday afternoon. A live guided space where you can reflect, speak, hear yourself, hear others, notice your patterns, and practice these questions in real time. It helps you to stay connected to the work long enough for it to actually change something.
Conscious Conversations meets every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And for $30 a month, you get access to the live weekly discussion group, a place to reflect and practice and stay connected to yourself and to larger community. We're also going to be starting our Tuesday conversations at 12 o'clock noon, and our $99 integration group is going to be starting when we kick off the Saturday Conscious Conversations.
So come and join us. We look forward to seeing you either Tuesday at 7 or coming soon Saturday at noon.
So thank you guys, and we look forward to seeing you. Papa Tango, perfect timing.